Fission Uranium Corporation develops uranium properties in Canada. I'm joined this afternoon by company CEO and Chairman, Dev Randhawa. Dev, great to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you have deep experience in this sector, so I do want to start out by a profile of your company. So first and foremost, give us an overview of the company and tell us a little bit about your management.
Sure. Well, we've been doing this for, I think I'm the longest serving CEO. It's been 22 years. I've been in the same company. Gone through 3 cycles. Our management team is greatly enhanced, with Ross McElroy joining us in the last 10 years. We are completely focused on developing an amazing asset in the Athabasca. The Athabasca is like the Saudi Arabia of uranium, very high grade, in a great district. We have 60 years of mining, so it's welcome, no NIMBY there, but lots of rules, but you can get things done. We're thankful to have the most awarded project in the world. We have the most awarded uranium management team in the world, based on all the awards we've won, because of a very unique asset. In the past, in Africa, there was very close to surface deposits and easy to mine. But then you had assets in Canada that were very deep, super high grade, but they're deep. For the first time in 40 years, a management team has made a discovery close to surface, big, and very rich. So it's a freak, really, a one-of-a-kind deposit in the world.
And for investors out there who are interested in learning more about the financials of your company, could you give us an overview?
Sure. We are owned 20% by the Chinese government through an SOE called CGN. We got 40 odd million in the bank, no debt. We're well funded. We're very fortunate to always have lots of money. You kind of need extra money when you're doing exploration. It's like a bit of like gambling where you're going to go. We're very lucky now. We're actually moving toward pre-feasibility and feasibility, so the risk keeps getting de-risked.
Well, before I move on to the projects your company is involved in, I do want to talk about demand. Now, uranium has been in the headlines recently, and there is expected increased demand out from China as well as Japan.
Right.
But we know that politics are involved with this.
Sure.
So what do you expect to see in terms of price in the near future?
Well, that's very tough. And what we try to do is we always hope for the best. We plan for the worst. That's been our strategy our whole time we've been doing this. The biggest change, I would say, in the last year has been the richest mine in the world, MacArthur, was already producing. They shut it down. It's like Saudi Arabia saying, guys, we can't produce oil at this price. We're shutting it down. For Cameco to do that. And you're right, there's so many government influences of what we do, but what we do know is Cameco is very disciplined. I can't say that about Kazakhs. That's my personal view. I think, unfortunately, they're not run by earnings per share. They're run by, because they're a socialistic government and they have to create jobs. So when and if they become disciplined, I mean, they got 40% of the market, so they really control it if they ever got serious about dropping production. Because the best thing to lower uranium prices is low uranium prices. You shut down. The demand keeps rising for it. In fact, there's more reactors being built today than the time of Fukushima. So what we need is, so demand's going up. Saudi Arabia, United Emirates, even they're building reactors. So demand keeps doing this. It's a supply that needed to drop, and it has. There's been an overhang, about 15 million pounds in the market. Now, in the last few years, more supply and demand. Now, with MacArthur taken offline, you're taking off 18 million pounds. So maybe the overhang is going to be gone. So that's our hope. But we got enough money to last a few more years. But obviously we hope that this year, as Cameco and Areva go into that market and buy uranium, the spot price will move up.
Well, markets do behave in a cyclical manner, so we'll see what happens. But in terms of projects that Fission Uranium is involved in, you just recently announced results from your winter projects. So
yeah, they were great.
Yeah, tell us about that.
We're not. If we found a bunch of more pounds, I don't think the stock will go up because we got so many already. I think what we need to see is we keep growing. But even if we announce it, stock never moves. What moves it is when the spot price moves up. So we've only got one project. We really focused on the PLS. Now, it's a big project. There's about 104 conductors on it. We've only tested 3 or 4. So there's lots of land. But unfortunately, till the spot price moves up and our stock moves up, it'd be silly for us to keep raising money and diluting ourselves before the big move. And so our goal right now is our big advantage over our neighbors. 2 years we found a discovery before they did, so that allows us to go to production 2 years earlier. So our real push is feasibility bankruptcy, push towards production, so that when this big wave comes up, the uranium industry is very different. There are very few names, and it's what we call a hockey stick move. It's going to go like this. You know, Strathmore, I started at 8 cents, and when, you know, Jessica, my daughter, was very young, and it went to $6 almost. 8 cents, and because there's very few good names. And so for investors, it's pretty easy coming to the show. Sprott's done a great job of handpicking the right uranium company. They're all going to go up. I do like to think, because we're the most awarded and, in our view, the most advanced, we stand to do better than most.
Okay, Dev, well, thank you so much for joining me, and thanks for making time for us here at the conference.
Thank you.
Thank you.